Once you have the logline for your story, you're ready to develop the 3-act structure. Most stories are divided into 3 sections, the beginning, middle, and end. And we call these sections acts. Things have been done this way for over 2,300 years since Aristotle came up with this theory in his landmark book, Poetics. Essentially, in the beginning, Act 1, we have the setup. We learn who the character is, and we see what life has been like before the story. Then in Act 1, we have something called an inciting incident, which is an event that sets the story in motion. In The Fellowship of the Ring, this is when Sauron's ring is discovered by Gandalf. In The Wizard of Oz, it's when a tornado takes Dorothy to Oz. In Back to the Future, it's when Marty drives Doc's DeLorean back in time. In a romantic comedy, this might be the meet cute. This inciting incident is the thing that leads to the protagonist going after their objective, which drives the main plot of the story. This is the middle of the film, otherwise known as Act 2. Soon after the ring is discovered, Frodo takes on the task to destroy it.
I will take the ring to Mordor.
Soon after landing in Oz, Dorothy goes off to see the wizard to find a way back home.
Off to see the wizard.
And after getting his bearings in the past, Marty McFly endeavors to get back to the future.
Now I need your help to get back to the year 1985.
In a romantic comedy, this is usually when one of the interested parties begins to pursue a romance with the other. Eventually, the protagonist has to come face to face with their objective and either succeed or fail. This is the end of the story, or Act 3. Dorothy discovers that the Wizard of Oz is a fraud and confronts him.
Who are you?
Marty McFly attempts an elaborate plan to get the 1.21 gigawatts he needs to get home. In a romantic comedy, this is usually where the protagonist makes one final all-out effort to be with the one they love. And these are the 3 acts: beginning, middle, and end. In Act 1, we give the protagonist a problem to solve. In Act 2, they try to solve it. In Act 3, they solve it. Or they don't. It should be noted, however, that just because the story is divided into 3 parts, it doesn't mean that each of these is divided into 3 equal parts time-wise. Typically, it's more like the story is divided into fourths, with Act 1 and Act 3 each getting a fourth, and then Act 2 getting the remaining half of the screen time. Now, you might be asking, why 3 acts? Can't you have as many acts as you want? Of course you can. Many great Shakespeare plays or Mozart operas or whatever are notably more than 3 acts. But I personally think that this 3-act structure is powerful because it seems to mimic the human lifespan. Let's say we live for about 80 years. The first 20 are youth, getting to adulthood. The next 40 consists of the bulk of our adult lives. And then we kind of taper off for the conclusion during our last 20 or so years. You can also apply the same formula to our day. We wake up, we go about our day, and then crawl into bed again. So this rhythm feels very organic. And again, not every short film needs 3 acts or even a story at all. But if you are telling a story, having this structure will make your story resonate on a powerful level. It's not just Hollywood that tells stories in 3 acts. This structure has been in place long before there was a Hollywood. Next, we'll look at how to take this even further with story beats.